We have here an XL custom D'Angelico made in 1959 as a custom order by D'Angelico for Homer Haynes of Homer and Jethro. Homer and Jethro is well known as a comedy duo, and they certainly provided a great musical backdrop for their comedy, but most of their fans never really did realize just what phenomenal musicians they were. Jethro Burns was an unbelievably talented mandolinist as well as a great guitar player, although he played just mandolin in the duo. Homer Haynes was a phenomenal rhythm guitar player, but somehow most of that got lost in the comedy. Also, for whatever it's worth, Jethro Burns and Chet Atkins married identical twin sisters, and Chet helped to promote their careers, so they got a boost there. This guitar was ordered by Homer, whose given name was Henry, and we have some of the original correspondence here. This first one, December 15th, actually it's 58. Here's one though from January of 59. But December of 58, Dear Henry, I have shipped your damaged Stromberg. That's D'Angelico did repair work as well as building. And I'm also enclosing here with a duplicate of the original letter of estimate I mailed you. As per our phone conversation, you wanted some prices on our guitars. They are as follows. A model similar to Johnny Smith's with special vintage imported cello wood, special elaborate trimmings. This model with a deluxe case, federal tax included, price $750. Our regular XL 17-inch body, same as above in size, $500. This includes case and federal tax. Our New Yorker model, which is an 18-inch body, is $100 more than the XL. As you know, our guitars are custom built. Would like to have about 8 to 12 weeks upon completion. Hope I can have the pleasure of making you a guitar with best wishes for the new year. Yours very truly, John D'Angelico, December 15, 1958. These days, the price seems absurdly cheap by today's standards, because these were prices that were essentially about the same as a new Gibson was at that time. Today, these bring a great deal more than a same-age Gibson. But the other thing that's rather interesting is that, aside from the degree of personal service, straight from John, because he was just him and one helper, and the price, also the time. As you know, our guitars are custom built, would like to have about 8 to 12 weeks on completion. That's not a heck of a long time to build the guitar. And here followed up January 21st of 59. The other letter was December 15th of 58, where he says, we'd like to have the pleasure of building you a guitar. January 21st of 59, Dear Henry, tried to reach you by phone today but was unable. Your address is not listed. I am pleased to let you know that your specially built guitar is now completed. Henry, I am pleased to say it has turned out as we expected, and I'm sure you will feel the same way about it. We put in all our best efforts in workmanship and materials. I'm awaiting your answer as to how you want shipped, COD, or would you rather remit your balance? Jimmy mentioned a mandolin you want made when you are ready, Jimmy would be Jimmy DeQuisto. I would be only too happy to make one for you. With kindest regards, very truly yours, John D'Angelico. And there again, January 21st, 59. So that's not a heck of a long time from December 15th to January 21st. Interestingly enough, too, as much as Homer Haynes was a well-known performer, it was either COD or send your money up front, one or the other. And we do have another undated piece of correspondence here. His letterhead, John D'Angelico. Dear Homer, received your deposit of $100 and have already started on your guitar. If all goes well, we'll have it finished by the end of this month. Hope the letter enclosed is the information you want. So, quite a bit of good documentation. This D'Angelico, the fact is this instrument was owned by Homer from 1959 until he died, and later by his son, and much more recently was sold to Doug Green of Riders in the Sky. In fact, there's an album that Doug recorded with Andy Reese, the art of the Archtop right there. And the two guitars used were Doug's Stromberg Cutaway and this guitar with the peghead picture right there, with Andy playing most of the tunes on this one. Jazz player, but this is a marvelous, marvelous jazz guitar. Totally different in sound from a Martin or a Gibson. Not what Maybelle Carter would have played, not what bluegrassers would play, but still a great guitar. In fact, one of the things that should be kept in mind is that there are so many different kinds of guitars, it's hard to even define what is a guitar. With a violin, there's thousands of different makers over the years, and many, many different styles, but ultimately you can close your eyes and envision violin, and there's still a certain image that comes so far as general body shape, peghead scroll. You know what a violin looks like. With piano, you might envision a grand piano or an upright, but still two basic types. With guitar, it can be a classical or flamenco, which looks quite different from a steel string flat top, which sure enough looks very different from something like this, which looks very, very different from a resonator guitar, like a dobro or a national, which sure enough looks different from a solid body electric or a semi-hollow electric or a hollow body electric. But they're all guitars. And guitar doesn't even have to have 6 strings. It can have 6, it can have 12. There are some with 7, there are some with 8, there are some with as many as 10. They're not even all tuned the same, but somehow they're guitars. And essence of guitar is such that if you close your eyes and try to envision guitar, it's virtually impossible to come up with one image of what is a guitar. Saxophone, you can do it. Flute, you can pretty well do it. Violin, you can sure enough do it. Piccolo, you can do this. But with guitar, they can be so radically different and still be guitars that from the manufacturing point of view, the artistic aesthetic point of view, structural point of view, they can be extraordinarily different instruments to the point where, quite literally, if I close my eyes and think of essence of guitar, it probably looks like a Martin Triple O. But that doesn't mean everybody else sees that. Lots of kids would close their eyes and envision Stratocaster or Telecaster. jazz players might well envision this. Classical guitar players certainly envision a different view. Classical guitar doesn't look like this. Segovia wouldn't have even considered this to be a guitar. He certainly didn't think of electric guitars, solid bodies, as being guitars. In fact, he was very vocal in saying they were not guitars at all. And he might at least see this as sort of a guitar, but not one that he thought would be a very valid guitar, not legitimate. And today, the whole definition of a guitar is rather murky as to what it is, but somehow we know it when we see it that it's a guitar. But trying to define it is not that easy to do. But this is a great guitar. For whatever it is, it still is a guitar, and there's no doubt about it. This is a great one.